You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Almost Royal After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Almost Royal After Show.
Now we're rocking.
Exactly, guys. Grab your partner.
Texas. That's all I know.
You actually know the words.
Yeah, this is actually a popular song. Surprise! Welcome to America.
Welcome to America. These guys actually know this song.
Wait. I don't know. I know the song, but I don't know the lyrics. I just know of it.
You just say deep in the heart of Texas. Just do
always
that
the
over and
same.
over, and you sound like you know the words.
Kind of mime along, exactly. It's the
That's all
lip-syncing.
Georgie and Poppy would need to know. And they
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. Hi guys, welcome to Almost Royal. This is our after show. We're season 1, episode 3, Texas. So guys, we start off and we see Georgie and Poppy. Actually, I've jumped the gun already. I'm sorry, guys.
What's your name?
I completely.
Who are
I was
we?
so fixated on Texas.
You're
I
like
just wanted to talk
taxidermy.
about
It's all
it.
about the taxidermy.
The country just incepts your mind.
I know, guys. All right, I'm your host, Stephanie McGrath, and tonight we have a full panel that will
Yeah.
join us. So, from my far, far left, who do I have with me?
Hey guys, I'm Dave Klein.
I'm
Hi.
Kylie Hodges. Oh, I totally interrupted you.
No, I was
Hi.
just gonna say hi. That's all right.
We'll do like a group hi. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Howdy, howdy, because we're in Texas.
Ooh, touche.
Oh, you win.
I'm JB Zimmerman, back again.
And we've also got the lovely Marissa
What's up, guys?
working the booth. Hey, girl.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah, making it all possible.
She was doing a bit of shaking there. I know it's not dance mums, but you know, you're still getting your Texan
Well, there's
groove
still a
on.
good rhythm to the song. I was totally getting it on in the booth here.
Nice.
Exactly. All right, guys. Now let's get back to it. So we opened up the episode with finding out that Poppy and Georgie are going to San Antonio. They're going to invade the southern state and check it out. And overall, guys, what was your feelings on this episode of Texas?
I liked it a lot. I mean, I thought it was a very different kind of culture that they've been used to growing up in England, obviously. It was interesting, sort of the South Texas culture is pretty unique in America as itself. You know, you take that to England, it's obviously so many differences. The rodeos and stuff, it just gave a lot of content to kind of play around with. A lot of comedic situations, for sure.
I really liked it, but I think there were a lot of things that I wish they had done in the episode that we didn't see. Like, I wish that they had gone to get like some traditional barbecue, and then like Poppy just being a total diva about it, or like learning like two-step like dancing, country dancing lessons, something like a little more physical. Although seeing them do cheerleading was enough for physicality.
Yeah, there were some like odd choices, like the cheerleading thing and taxidermy. Although it's funny because I actually felt like I was learning things, and no, I'm American. I was like, I don't know any of that stuff about taxidermy. I didn't know any of that stuff about like the rodeo thing where he's like whatever he was saying. I'm like, that's weird to me too. So it's just funny seeing like the way that they were reacting to it. So I enjoyed that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, the hotel suite, I feel like could play anywhere.
Well, yeah, that one could play
that,
anywhere.
That was sort of a disappointment in terms of seeing unique Texas stuff.
Yeah, I would have
like
liked to seen
barbecue,
two-stepping, definitely.
Maybe some do-si-do action would have been choice, but
And
it was
even
good.
riding on a bull. I could have
Right.
seen
Yes.
Georgie jumping
Oh, yeah.
on a bull, and they
Oh.
did do horse riding, which we will get into. So, guys, we did start off and we meet Chris, the manager there of the hotel, and they take them through the tour, and there certainly was some good one-liners. In particular, they were very fascinated with who stayed there, what celebrities, and you know, J-Lo, the one with the fat ass.
Yeah.
And then of course it was Poppy's bedtime. Do you read bedtime stories? What did you take on the poor manager? How did you think? Did he play it well, or?
Well, the manager was a weird guy to me.
He totally was.
I'm just like, so like the joke about the fat ass thing, most people would just roll with it and be like, yeah, that's J-Lo. And he didn't roll with that one, but then the bedtime story thing, he's like, okay. And then he had like nothing, like, it's just a weird guy.
He did. He like glossed over. It's like he glossed over things that you would think most people wouldn't gloss over. Like Georgie was asking who's committed suicide off the balcony, and he's like, "This is a new hotel, so you've still got time." And the guy was just like, "Yep."
Yeah, he's like,
"What?" You know, if I was like a hotel manager, I would be like, you know, hopefully we never have to deal with something like that. Very like, you know, markety and not so.
Right.
Very like monotone.
Yeah.
He was a good sport about a lot of the things, but it was almost too much so where it's like, dude, like, you're just agreeing with everything they say? You know, the committing suicide thing, they were talking about the urn. Obviously, like, safety's no longer a concern. We've passed that point.
Yeah.
So, you know, I would have liked to see him. I mean, maybe he's just desensitized as a hotel manager. He's seen everything.
Well, go ahead.
Well, that's the whole thing we talked about in the last week, JB and I. We were saying it's just interesting to see all these. I mean, they realise there's a camera crew there. They know they're being filmed, but they still take these people legit.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see the different people's reaction, whether they go with it. And we were saying LA, they're a bit more accustomed to that type of thing. They're being filmed for something. Getting to Texas, it's a whole nother ball game. I mean, some of them take them serious. They really do.
It's very much like Borat. That's how I feel like when I watch this show. And I think that the manager really, truly believed that they're way more royal than they really are. And that might be why he was just very, like, attentive and, like, a yes man to them.
Well, it's funny, too, because apparently they didn't even have the room yet. And they're, like, deciding on the room. And then, like, they just get in the bed. And they're like, read me a bedtime story. And he's like, okay, we'll take the room. So that was pretty good. But yeah, he's just like, to me, I mean, this guy of all of them struck me as the weirdest guy, definitely. It's just like, and even like when he was like trying to do the bedtime story thing, he's like, so it was a horse and met a giraffe and went back to the zoo.
Bedtime story
like,
ever.
Say the name. What's the name? He's like, Bob. No, Georgie. It's not Georgie.
It's just like no imagination in that guy at all.
Oh, well, look, you know, he still played. He didn't get frustrated. We didn't see any anger
that's
yet.
true.
And then we moved on. I love their little songs. When they're moving on to now record the track. Because Poppy, of course, is going to be the next... Well, she's going to be the next everything.
Oh, right.
Television host, actress, singer.
Superstar.
Superstar, exactly. And so in the car, I love their... Before they arrive there at the music studio and Georgie's singing something about burrito, and Poppy's like, Dankeschön.
Yeah.
Yeah, just throw German in there.
They're supposed to be speaking Spanish. What the?
Yeah. It's a foreign language, so it works. It just sounds foreign.
Throw it together. Now, they do arrive and they meet Jessica. And they go there to say she wants to add a bit of Tex-Mex, but not the food, to her music and her sound of her song. Besides the fact that this girl is utterly tone deaf.
Yeah.
Did we have a bit of fun, guys? What was the take?
Her song sounded like a song I wrote when I was 7 years old. And I sounded a little better.
Yeah. yeah. It's like, it's just so awkward. This one was like one of those really awkward ones. But it's funny because like the guy who was recording it was just looked like he was having a blast with it. He's just like, whatever. Yeah. It's funny. But this reminded me of like, I would watch all the YouTube Spaces interviews. And if you watch the YouTube Space interviews, I actually think they're better than the show. And there was one where they interviewed a musician specifically. And it was just hilarious. It's the same type of thing where they're trying to sing with him and just like, just watch those interviews because this one reminded me of that. But those are fantastic.
I kept thinking about how the recording guy, if that's what the guy who recorded Rebecca Black's song Friday felt like.
Oh, yeah.
Because the guy running the machines, like, he was laughing. He was like, this is a joke.
Right.
This can't be real.
Yeah, I think it would be tough because of how bad they were to really take it like you were legit. I mean, there's no way that you can sing that horribly and think you've got a shot at all. I mean, Georgie...
Have you ever seen American Idol?
Yeah.
No, American Idol has good singers, but there are plenty of crap singers on the radio. We can't say that.
Right, but I mean, coming from a place of royalty, they obviously have money enough to get voice lessons or some type of positive feedback, constructive comments. But it was interesting because the DJ guy running the deck was sort of the only one who just was like, yeah, no, that was Georgie, stop. Like, we're going to bring in the girl. You cannot sing anymore. So that was interesting. It was kind of the first time we've seen someone go against them and not just be a yes man.
Yeah. The woman was laughing too.
Strotty. Did you see her face when Jessica was singing? She's like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, no.
Yeah,
I mean,
not good.
to really talk about the character per se that she plays, Amy Hoggart, I'd have to say, yes, it's that very, she's a bit of a brat.
Totally.
Poppy, she doesn't like it when it doesn't go her way. She's like, Georgie, whose song is this? Like, stop it. Stop interrupting and ruining it.
There's a moment, I'm trying to remember, I think it was before they walked into the taxidermist building.
Yep.
Poppy, like, she knows the camera's on her, and they're like, okay, here we go. And then she turns around and, like, just looks at the camera and goes, like, yeah, she's totally like, I'm here for the fame.
Yep.
And to try to be a singer.
Well, I certainly think that's one thing that Poppy can work on, is her
for
singing.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, so off-key, it wasn't even funny. Now, they do then go to the taxidermist and meet Brendan, the South African.
I learned. I more than finding this funny. I was learning things. I was like, oh, I didn't know that they use like a fake sculpture underneath.
Right, the
like,
mannequins.
Yeah, I had no idea.
That was interesting. That guy was South African?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm throwing it out there because the accent. That's what I picked up. He's a South African. The accent.
I rewound that scene like 3 times because I was like, "Is that a Texas accent? What is that? What
sounded
why does
very
he sound
South
like that?"
African?
Yeah, I noticed too that it didn't sound at all like an American accent. So
Yeah.
it sounds like he's trying to talk British as well to me. But then I guess that would make sense if it was South American or South African.
South African.
South American.
Now, look, guys, when you download us, of course, on iTunes, comment down below if you know. I know there's already been people that have quizzed me, and I don't know much. There's so much involved in the monarchy. We've got one of our great viewers who knew about the titles and shouldn't, they be the Lord and the Sir and the different titles.
Right, and where they
There's a
are
whole-
sort of like in relation to the throne.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm a little surprised they don't go more into that actually with the show. That's one of my qualms with it. I'm just like, well, shouldn't they have these specific titles that they talk about a little more frequently?
I think it's because they know that the people they encounter are nice enough to never question them.
Yeah.
They can just bullshit
That's
and
true.
be like, "Our daddy's a lord and he died," or whatever.
Is
And
there
we'll be like, "Oh, that's sad. I'm so sorry."
Yeah, but is there something though? Do you guys feel just a general sort of how the British accent comes across to you? And if someone said, "My father's a lord," would you honestly question it?
I
if
would
you
just
had
take
a pom come up. Oh, sorry, a British. I call them pom. That's the Australian British love-hate relationship.
Hang on, you called them what?
A pom.
What is
P-A-L-M?
Pommies.
Pom? P-O-M?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
Are you
what's that
allowed
mean?
to say why?
It's a bit of a derogatory comment, but we do
my.
it back in chance. So any British, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We call you a pom.
What do they call you?
All sorts of names. We won't need to go into that. I'm
Oh,
gonna keep the
man.
Australian flag.
I didn't even
can't
think about it. I
Keep it
wonder what they
PG
call
here.
us.
Oh,
Now,
I know.
if
You
you're
guys have a
British and
whole
you're
new vocab over
watching,
there.
tell me what an insulting word for an American is, if you're allowed to say it.
Well,
A
last
yank?
week
I'm
Georgie
curious.
was yank.
Oh,
Yeah,
yank.
yank.
Is
Yeah.
that insulting?
Is that bad?
Well, it means septic tank.
Oh.
Yeah, I
You
think
do realize
yeah,
it
I think
does?
yank. Yeah, I think yank
Yeah.
is a derogatory term, but then we kind of just owned it.
Fair enough. We're like Yankee.
Yeah, well-
boom.
I was about to be like,
Yeah.
yeah, we are.
I mean, it's like
Yankees.
It's like gringo's a
Rep it.
derogatory word for us, but I actually think it's a really cool sounding word. So I'm like, yeah, I'm a gringo. Cool. It sounds cool. But it's actually super derogatory.
And you're like, I'll wear that.
Yeah, it's like, I'll
no.
take that. I like how it sounds.
Just take it away from him.
Kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Georgie and Poppy last week. No, we're friends with benefit.
Oh yeah, that was
We
great.
are.
Yeah, yeah.
We have it.
Don't say that.
That guy was getting pissed.
He's
like,
like,
seriously,
you really
stop
cannot say it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Now, I think the classic line of Poppy going into the taxidermist was, everyone says that I'm really an animal person.
Right.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
really a people person.
God.
I love to eat them and I love to wear them.
I love that line. That was
And then
fantastic.
Peter,
Yeah, as a cape or a pashmina.
yeah, and their organisation.
Exactly.
She's
yeah,
like, don't you
Peter.
think I look really good on Peter? And showing next to the
Yeah.
stuffed animal.
I liked the Michael Jackson reference when she was by the zebra and she was like, Michael Jackson is black and white, sort of.
Yeah.
Touche, Poppy.
She was,
you win.
I love that. They were touching on the, have we pushed it too far when she's like, oh, African animals, black, white. Michael Jackson, he was black and white.
Yeah, that's one of those moments where you're like, easy.
Yeah,
Careful what you're about to say.
It's still a great
subject.
I know this is something you guys talked about last week, but something that I really like about this show over the Ali G show is that the joke's more on them than the other people.
Yeah.
So that's what I always like. For me, watching Ali G, sometimes it's a little too uncomfortable and Borat, but then this one's like, okay, well, it's always on them being stupid, and people are like, what? Yeah. So I actually enjoy that, and that's that element too with Poppy here. It's just like the guy's like, okay, trying like kind of giving her a weird look, like, all right, that's okay, it's you, I guess.
Yeah, it is. I agree. It's nice to not feel guilty for watching it,
right?
Because like with the Ali G show and Borat and Bruno and all those kinds of things, anyways, when I would be done watching those things, I felt bad for those people, and I felt like embarrassed for them that I watched them be humiliated. Yeah. But these people, like, they're just taking some weirdos in stride, and they're never put in a situation where they look like the fool.
Right.
So that is kind of nice. Good
right.
work.
I mean, yeah, they definitely take the naive role, like they don't know anything, and they play it in a way where it's makes all the marks sort of feel smart by like helping them, like in the auction, for instance. They're like, no, like you're not supposed to hear every word. It's like this, like they like teach them a little bit, which makes it fun because it's obvious, like, no one can understand that.
Yeah.
Right.
I was kind of a little bit disappointed because I thought some of the Texans that they would interact with during this episode, they were going to be a little bit more like our cowboy that we see at the very end.
Yeah.
Just not taking that, some of the men, but at the same time, when they go to the rodeo and the auctioneer, I mean, he was a great sport, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He was funny.
Getting them up and, introducing them and then, though, Poppy and Georgie's face, they were just like, when the guy was going off in auctioneering during the process, I mean, candid images.
They were truly concerned.
Yeah.
They were worried. Like, what is going on? What are they saying? Chill out, guys. Don't raise your hand if you don't know what's going on.
I was waiting, though, for something like that. For one of them to be, Georgie will accidentally do it. The next thing they know, they've bought, what was it, cow?
Like horse semen.
Semen or horse semen?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Horse semen.
Or maybe it's bull semen, but it was semen, regardless.
There we go. We all learned something, though.
Exactly.
Livestock
It's an educational show.
It's like, I didn't even know you could buy semen. I thought you just bought the cattle or the breed, but all right. Learning things.
Yeah. Animal prostitution, if you ask me. I don't know.
Well, it's more of like a sperm bank, I think. You see except you see the actual person or bull, as the case may be.
Right. Yeah, it basically is.
Yeah, well, I know they do that for horses and stuff. Like, that's why the Triple Crown is such a prestigious thing, because everybody wants the DNA from the winning horse.
Right. I just didn't know that you.
Tried and true.
I thought you just bought the horse, not the semen. But
yeah,
learn new things.
Oh.
All right.
Again, educational show.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, neither did I.
The more you know.
This is an educational show.
Nor did we probably know that when Poppy goes and then, as always, I forget how quick these episodes are, though. Because
it is pretty quick.
You're at the end, but when they do go and ride the horses, Poppy, being a 12-year-old girl, there's a couple of sexual innuendos they finish off on. She was saying, last time when I got on a horse, I was a girl, but when I got off, I was no longer a girl.
Yeah.
Well, the name of the horse, Wild Willie, just lended itself out.
The guy that was riding horses with them was kind of pervy too. She's like, I want to ride Wild Willie. He's like, yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
whoa,
come on, dude.
Easy.
Yes.
Back a little bit.
Yeah.
It's my brother's right there.
Well, I mean, like, to me, when he was doing those responses, it was almost like a response to the way they were already acting.
Right.
Yeah.
So, because, like, she was already saying those, like, ridiculous things. Because that was after a line, like, after I got on a horse, I was a woman when I got off, like, that line. So it was like after that, it was almost like his reaction, his face was like, yeah, I bet you do. Like, it was almost like that sarcastic thing that I picked up from him. Yeah, because it's just like they were being so ridiculous. And everything she was saying was a sexual innuendo.
Exactly. I mean, that scene in particular, they were just like firing him off. I mean, again, Wild Willie, your mind is obviously going to go there. But it was funny because every time they said that name, they would kind of throw one out there, like Wild Willie coming from the back. Like, there's a lot of good stuff. Riding bareback, obviously.
Yeah, Mummy likes bareback, but I don't think she's ever been horse riding before. Yes.
They called their mom that old cow.
That,
they rode by on the horses.
Yeah.
He hates on their mom all the time.
He does.
I know.
She's alive, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So.
So she's still alive. Daddy, though, they kind of thought, God, if only taxidermy was around there, because they would have stuffed Daddy.
Yeah, what was it? He would be in the front hallway to scare the burglars.
Yeah.
Going through it. I mean, I think in some way I was kind of expecting a little bit more from this episode from Texan. But at the same time, it's these candid, you'll be watching it, these one-liners that want to probably just think.
That's what makes the show.
Exactly. I mean, the two of them, what do you think, though, on the other side of it? Could you ever, we briefly touched on it last week, being an actor, a comedian in this sort of position, I mean, I know they've got to do takes and editing, but do you think there's any, honestly, time where they're just like, I can't pull this off anymore? Like, they just...
I don't know. I don't
they
think
lose
so.
character, they lose... Do you think?
It's amazing because, like, I mean, watching the YouTube Space interviews, like, those are, like, 10 to 15 minutes straight where there aren't cuts, really. And it's just like, how are they pulling this off the whole time? Like, without cracking up, without smirking at all. Like, they're really good, which is why they have a show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't, like, anytime, like, I feel like I'm tricking someone, I get, like, this smile on my face because I think it's so funny that I'm trying to trick someone, and I just cannot do it at all. So I could never do that role.
You could never be Georgie.
No.
It's okay.
I also can't do a British accent.
Yeah.
You can do a good shot of it, you know. I think so.
Well, British accent I can't.
Oh.
That I can't do at all.
I'm not even going to go down that road. Don't ask me to do it.
Now
Now JB is like,
I would do the reverse if we got to go to England and bounce around Europe. For
oh
a
yeah, I
show.
would do that.
Well, yeah, doing the reverse in, like, England.
Yeah. Because I feel like any smiling or anything, they just chalk up to silly Americans.
We were talking about that before we started the show here, and I think we can all collectively agree that we would probably be perfectly fine at doing this in England.
Right.
I think it'd be, but I also don't think they would react to us the way we react to them. I think it would be like, ugh, another idiot American.
Yeah, I think that is the typical reaction. Because, like, here, like, you think, you hear that accent, you're like, oh, they've got to be smarter than me. That's the automatic reaction that people take, especially when it's a duke or a lord. It's like, oh, they must be really smart. They must be really high up there. I think it's a very typical reaction. But, yeah, I agree with you, though, Stephanie, that, like, I was kind of thinking, like, man, I thought there'd be more typical. This is Texas. This is where the most stereotypical American everything
a bit
is.
of that, but you're right, guys. From the start, we said barbecue. There's so much more that embodies. I mean, there's Dallas, there's Fort Worth, there's Austin.
Yeah,
I
Austin.
mean, if she was going to do her music, wouldn't that be a really awesome place to do it at?
Yeah.
Right?
I think Austin's a little, it's not Texas enough.
Yeah,
it's
that is
Texas,
true.
but it's not Texas.
Oh, no. It's
Like,
a whole
you'd want to go to,
public-
like, Dallas or San Antonio for that.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's interesting also, as we said, do you reckon when you play a character for so long, how do you go home and switch off?
Yeah.
Do you reckon, like, Amy, for instance, who plays Poppy, you know, goes home and starts, how does she stop being Poppy?
That's a great question.
Because they embody, everything about them. They're 100% their characters. How do you...
I don't know. I think they're hilarious, though. And I think I really don't imagine them having troubles. I think it's probably like the producers are like, okay, we're done. You can stop.
Yeah. Like, cut it, guys. You can stop.
Yeah.
And then they just don't. They're like, no, stop. Okay, we're done. We're done.
Finish up there. All right, guys. Well, let's jump on to predictions.
Definitely.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So, Poppy and Georgie head to New York.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a
What
good
are we
place.
thinking, guys?
I'm really excited for this next episode. I really hope that we get some of that New York just meanness that they don't give them the time of day at all. I mean, it looks like it's winter time when they shot it because there was snow on the ground and stuff. But I really hope that they just get what's coming.
I hope that Poppy tries to audition to be on, like, Broadway or be a Rockette or something. And I hope that, like, whoever is auditioning her just, like, tears her apart. Because nobody's really, like, you know, ripped them apart yet.
She was very soft to her, wasn't she, in LA? When
Yeah,
she did
that lady was way too nice. So I want to see, like how you're saying with like that East Coast attitude, I want to see someone like really give it to him.
Yeah, it is amazing how nice everyone has been to them, regardless of anything. So that would be nice to see someone tear them a new one. But yeah, I guess I imagine we'd see Broadway, some mention of the Statue of Liberty they have to do, and maybe some fancy fine dining, perhaps.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what I think of New York as.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm imagining we'll see, but definitely Broadway with Poppy. Yeah. Definitely.
I also hope we get some more real New Yorker characters that are going to play off them a little bit more.
Oh, they got to do like Taxi. Something in a taxi would be great.
Definitely. Maybe like a subway scene with street performers.
Or a subway scene. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
I hope they get mugged. You know, true New York fashion.
God, I can imagine. Now, guys, where can we all find you?
You can find me on Twitter at @TheDaveKlein. That's Klein.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @Kylie Hodges. You stole my idea.
Ha! Nice. It's the only way. Someone took it and like, damn it. Well, I'm the Kylie Hodges.
Nice. You guys can find me at JB_Zimmerman.
And guys, you can find me on Twitter at host McGrath and also on YouTube at host Stephanie McGrath. Now, we will be back next Sunday for another review of our lovely Almost Royal who head to New York. But in the meantime, make sure you download and comment on our YouTube as well. Let us know what you think of the show. We think it's hilarious, but we'd love your opinions. That's all, guys. Have a good night.
See you guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.